Well, the holidays can be strenuous on mental health and possibly compounding for those with addictions or those who have experienced complex trauma. This morning, we welcome clinical psychologist Joan Neehall for more on this conversation. So, Joan, thanks so much for being here. Let's first of all start by defining complex trauma. What does that mean?
Yes. Well, that's a good question. I usually say, why the pain? When people say to me, why addiction? I respond, why the pain? Because from my perspective, addiction is unaddressed pain, rooted in childhood trauma, neglect, abandonment issues, and that's where it starts. Now, there's an interpersonal component to it because the trusted caregiver could be the person who perpetrates this cycle of abuse, okay? And what happens as a result of this is the child experiences dissociation from self, from others, and construes the world as a very unsafe place, and it leads to dysregulation, and more important, the brain changes as a result of this.
So that is very complex stuff. And at the holidays, people with addiction and suffering from this trauma, those can all intersect in a tough time. What would you say to people at this time of the year who may be struggling?
Oh, well, I can give you 4 evidence-based ways of looking at the situation. What can we do about it? The first thing is self-compassion. Challenge your inner critic, you know, that voice that tells you you're not good enough, you're like a failure, and makes you feel guilt. Challenge that, first of all, with self-compassion. That's been proven to work. The second thing you can do is a digital detox. Deliberately set aside time every day to not engage with social media and your devices. Yet another thing we can do is micro-boundaries. Decide to say no to certain events if you know they're going to be stressful. And if you absolutely have to go, plan an entrance and an exit strategy and have a trusted friend with you. The last one I would suggest is something Zyga and I developed in 2021. It's called positive addictions that range from exercise, which is, you know, probably, it will release dopamine and you'll feel good about yourself with serotonin, correct?
Correct.
But what about some other things like savoring the moment? Say, I can savor the joyous moment with you right now, right?
Yeah, we're having a good time.
Oh, yeah, we are, with empty coffee cups, but that's a different story. So there is that. And then another thing you can do, actually, is to involve yourself in community activities, volunteer your services, because if you're feeling lonely, which is one of the stresses during the holidays, it helps you in a safe way to connect with others. And what about random acts of kindness? But the first thing you have to do is to be kind to yourself and then pass that on to someone else so that what you have is a new holiday ritual. The ritual is called survival of the kindest with gratitude.
That is fantastic advice. Now, really quickly, we don't have much time before you go, but for those who are family members and friends supporting those who have gone through trauma or have addictions, what would you say to them to help support all of this?
You're not alone, and there is help. And healing does not involve erasing the pain. It involves transforming our relationship to it with compassion, because when we look at relapse as a trauma response, not a moral judgment, it opens the doors to healing and, believe it or not, full recovery.
Joan, we appreciate your insight. It's been fantastic talking to you this morning. We'll fill the cups next time and make sure that there's coffee in there, okay?
You sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure. Joan Neehall is the host of a podcast, Happiness on Demand. She's also co-written a best-selling book called Habit of a Happy Life. You can find more at neehall.com.